What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Zero Cred podcast, where we have zero credibility but a lot of opinions. I'm Brian.
I am Warren.
I'm John.
I almost forgot my name right there.
You did, yeah. It threw John for a loop for a second.
Wayne?
Wayne. I'm Wayne. Well, Wayne. So we are in this episode. We're going to be talking
We're
about.
talking about boys. Yeah, boys.
Talk about The Boys, man.
Yeah.
The Amazon series, The Boys, and we're gonna get into. I think are we gonna get into real deep detail on plot and everything like that, or do you?
Oh yeah, I want to.
Yeah, we're
go
gonna
into
get
Yeah,
dirty.
this okay. We have
Oh, yeah,
to.
good
This
deal.
show is arguably one of the greatest superhero shows I've ever seen in my life.
It's fantastic. I'll tell you that.
I am not alone in that. I hope.
No.
No, not at all. I loved it. I thought it was amazing.
I'm not gonna say it's perfect, but
No, it's not. But it's
all
very
of the
good.
people that are in the show are perfect to me.
Oh, this was done very well. This is done really, really well. This is right up there with as good as like Daredevil, in my opinion. It was so fucking good.
I just love the dynamic of like if superheroes were real, this is probably how it would go.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they touch on a lot of the stuff like how the government would actually feel about superheroes, which
Right.
is they would not like them
No, not at all.
and if they don't have control of them.
Right,
That's
exactly.
that's the key. But then it also touches on like today's society as far as like marketing and how
Yeah,
everything that
absolutely.
you
Yeah.
think is like cool and nice is like it's all for the views and the money and the selfish reasons and the biggest thing is that they touch on how difficult it is to actually save people.
Oh yeah,
Because there's a scene in the season we'll get into
to it.
later.
Yeah, we'll get
but
to it.
it's like that should have been a shining moment, and in the comics it would have been, and it
And
turned
it just
into
turned
a
into a
shit show,
yeah.
like a really bad shit show.
Yeah, it was.
So that's what I really love about this show.
Oh yeah, so good. It was really, really good. I was hooked in the first sequence when we meet A-Train for the first time.
You are heartless.
I am.
That was
I
my
am.
favorite part of
It
the
wasn't
show.
my favorite. No, that's what hooked me in. That was what hooked me in, though. When he's talking to her and everything is fucking roses and rainbows and unicorns and everything's just cheerful and
Right.
wonderful, and he clowns her. He says, "Don't you ever disparage Billy Joel," and she just vanishes, and then just blood goes everywhere, and I was like, what the fuck just happened? And
At that point, if you hadn't watched the trailer, you just assumed that he was the soup and he was really upset with her and he just
Blew her up.
blew her up because over Billy Joel.
I didn't watch much of anything going into this
that's-
at all.
That's interesting.
I didn't watch much of anything. I saw some of the quick little teasers that showed Carl Urban, and I saw Carl Urban once again. My fantastic
Urban.
speaking skills. I saw him, and I was already like, I'm gonna watch that show because I fucking love Carl Urban. He's great,
That's cool.
and that's why I watched it. And I'm so fucking glad I did. It was dope.
I just wanted to watch it. I watched the trailer and then I was like, I'm sold. I mean, the obviously the way that it, I guess you could give your thoughts on just the overall.
It was cool. No.
That's like your Colorado take. Colorado's
It was
nice.
cool.
Go there.
No, but like what you were saying with that scene, if this was like a Netflix show, if this was a Daredevil or a Luke Cage, that scene would have happened in like episode 6.
Right.
And it would have built up to that.
Yeah.
And this show, within the first 10 minutes, they're like, this is what this show's about.
Yes,
and you're
exactly.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Hold on, because it's about to get real.
It happened out of
And
nowhere.
There's
man.
at least 10 scenes like that in
Oh,
this
yeah.
season. And every time you're just like, they don't give a
no,
about
no.
anybody in this show. And
Yeah.
but it's realistic because like that's even like if you watch it like with that scene in particular, if you watch a speedster show or even like read the comics, if you picked up somebody that fast, they're dead.
They're dead.
Like you can't you can't be going 4,000 miles an hour and then
Right.
pick somebody up.
No.
They die. Like they snap in half, or you run through them as we see in the
yeah.
show.
Oh
Like,
my god. That was
so it
so
was-
good.
it was a superhero show that was weirdly grounded in that way where
Yeah.
like you said, where it's like would be actually hard to pull a lot of the stuff off that
That we
regular
see.
movie
Yeah.
like and
Right.
so, yeah
Like I mean, because like one of the things that made me so like intrigued about it, especially this scene, is given that the Flash is one of my favorite superheroes.
Right.
A-Train literally is like what the Reverse Flash would be in real life.
Right. Yeah.
Like literally, he just ran with that person. Was like, well, whatever.
I can't stop.
Like, and I always think about it like, oh yeah, Barry Allen's trying to save people, but if the Reverse Flash was real, he wouldn't just like fight Barry. He would just like run through people, like to just kill people while you're trying to stop
Lots
him.
of them.
And so you would have to prioritize saving people versus stopping him, and it's crazy. And it was so detailed, you could see like muscles.
I know,
bones
intestines and shit. It was dope.
and then he still had her hands in his hands.
Yeah, and he looks
God.
down. He's just holding her hands. It was so good.
Wish he had made like a monument with her hands though, so that when A-Train walked in to see it at some point.
And how shitty they react to the whole thing. The company. What's the company called again? Vought. Yeah, Vought. I couldn't think of it. But yeah, how they react. They're just like, hey, you're like, it sucks, man. $40,000. Call it good. What?
Right. Yeah.
Like, are
Like
you serious?
no.
Like, we just don't want you to talk about it. Oh my God! Like that's what they would do. That's what they would do.
Yeah.
Because look, they were marketing the shit out of this guy to kids.
Right.
How fucked up is this show, man? It's so good.
It's great.
It's one of those like parody shows where it's like there's a lot of parody type thing, like GTA, for example.
Okay, yeah.
Is hardcore parody, and it's obvious about it.
Right.
Where
right.
this is a parody, but we're not far from that. Like,
No,
this is
not at
very
all.
close to how life would be.
Yes.
Right.
Like, whereas like GTA, they get like very outgoing with their parody. You're like, I get what you're doing, but that's not really how things would work. But this show, a company would own all the superheroes. It'd all be more about marketing and likes and tweets. And,
Yeah, exactly.
and everything. And they're like, you can't say that, or you can't go save this person because, all sorts of stuff.
Right, because they're constantly coming up to their heroes and
Yeah.
like, oh, you went up 9 points yesterday and blah blah
Right.
blah and shit like that, and you're like,
And
oh my God.
the other thing that they do that I think is interesting is that they make movies about these
Right.
guys, which I think is
Right.
that hint of what we have here, where they make movies in
Yeah.
real life about these superheroes from the comics,
Mhm.
and it's a marketing thing.
Right.
And it's just interesting how it's like they basically took our society right now and then just made it a little bit darker because
Right.
superheroes are real.
Right.
Well, that was a cool play. The one scene that they like actually mentioned that specifically was a cool play on the MCU because it was the VCU.
Right.
Is what they
Yeah.
called it, with Seth Rogen sitting next to, I don't remember that guy's name, Dark Noir.
You mean Black Noir?
Black
Is that
Noir.
it?
Black Noir.
Okay.
Yeah.
That Seth Rogen's, and they call it the VCU, but it also reminded me of in Logan where they had like the comic book series
Mhm.
about the real superheroes
Right,
in the world,
yeah.
like that kind. I just think that stuff's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. it
But
was-
and Seth Rogen helped produce the show. So
Yes.
that was-
Right, and then he gave a whole bunch of slack to the Game of Thrones writers for not coming to Comic-Con to to face the music, which is hilarious. But well, I guess let's just start off with favorite characters because mine was all of them.
oh man.
To be honest,
I really liked Hugh. I liked his dad. The Simon Pegg's character.
who Huey's character was actually based off of in the comics.
Oh, is that right?
He was
if you
based
look
off of
at the-
Simon Pegg.
If you look at the comics, you're like, oh, that's Simon Pegg.
Oh, okay, okay. I like
and that's not just like, oh, he looks like it was confirmed they used him.
Oh wow, that's kind
as
of cool.
the model,
that's why they
but
got
he's-
him to play
They
the
got him to
dad.
play the dad because he's too old now.
Yeah.
To be
Well, he was.
Huey.
I liked him, of course, but I think it's just because I'm a huge fan. I like him. I like him.
I mean, yeah, he's good.
It is kind of weird though, seeing him as that person's dad. I'm like,
Right.
is he that old? Like,
Yeah, I mean, he
don't-
probably
don't-
could have just been Huey.
Right. I guess I don't know if they ever say how old Huey is. in
Huey
that
is,
show.
yeah.
I mean, to me, he looked almost 30. Like,
Right, like he looked.
He's only 49 in real life.
Simon Pegg.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean,
He could have done it.
Yeah, he could have done it.
Maybe he didn't want to do
He
it.
could have a 25-year-old easily.
Maybe
Oh, he
he
might
didn't-
be-
Maybe he just wanted to be like, this is the role I want to.
Yeah, he might have had a shooting schedule also because he's doing some stuff right now with Nick Frost, and they might have just had we had limited time so they can fit him in a smaller role.
Yeah, he
'cause
wasn't-
he's only in like 4 episodes of
Probably,
this show. So.
Yeah,
I would also say Huey and
Huey
Billy
was
Butcher
Oh, Billy
Um,
Butcher was awesome.
because it was one of those where you just thought he was awesome, and then sometimes he did things. Where you're like,
Dude.
man, I hate you right now.
What
But
what I really
the
like.
next scene, you're like, fuck yeah, like you're cool again.
What I really liked about Billy Butcher was, in particular, was his story arc and how it unfolded bit by bit throughout basically the entire series. And you got through almost the entire series before you really finally figured out exactly what this guy's beef with superheroes was. I loved that. They did a really good job just stretching that out bit by bit.
And it was so gut-wrenching to figure out what happens, because you're getting basically told this entire time that his wife was wrongly,
raped.
That
Yeah.
and
Highlander.
by
Homelander.
What did I say?
Highlander.
There can be only one, John.
And I think it's this guy. And because you see like the confliction with Homelander. He's clearly being manipulated, and I think that's one of the big things about his storyline is if he was raised in a different environment, I think he would be more like Superman than he is Homelander.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And so you see the moments of confliction with him throughout the story, especially when it comes to that situation. You start to see him like really. He does the wrong thing for the right reasons. When it comes to that situation, but to find out that essentially Billy's beef with him was for naught, because basically his wife was just like, just have your way with me. Like she basically chose to sleep with
pretty
him.
much.
Yeah.
So it sucks, but at the same time, you get why someone who assumed that this is what happened would be the way that he is, because that would probably traumatize me too.
Right. But at the same time, it was interesting to see that might not have been the true story, but Billy's drive unfolded this crazy conspiracy within Vought that ended up, driving the whole show, really.
Drive the whole show to the ground.
Right.
And now there's no season 2. No.
Shit.
No, there is, though. They're already shooting season 2. So that's
what I
great.
heard. Yeah.
They renewed it before it came out.
Yep.
Yeah, they were shooting.
knew.
They were shooting it, I think, before season 2, before it started shooting anyway, before it even
They knew.
launched.
God, they knew what they had. They watched this and they were like, "Oh, bravo!"
But even I feel like the marketing didn't even do the show justice. Like the trailers were good, but like it makes you think that the show is going to be imbalanced and it's going to focus so heavily on the boys, which obviously what is the group that we follow with Huey and Billy and whatnot. But there's a unique balance that it follows both sides very well. Like it doesn't just try to paint the boys as good and the 7 as bad. It's like they're both fucked up.
Right.
And we're going to follow both points of view. We're going to see why they both feel the way they feel. And then we're just going to let them duke it out, basically.
Yeah.
And they bridged that between Huey and
Starlight.
Yep.
Ba, 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 ba. I don't know. That's not her music, but I think that was the interesting dynamic too. It was one we've seen before, so it was like I was kind of like, let's just hurry it up a little bit as we started going through the season, which is like, oh, she doesn't know he's working with the boys. Oh no, he's gonna find out she works with the 7. Right. Oh no, she's gonna find out that he's been using her, even though he didn't really want to use her, but his teammates were using her. Now she's mad. Now she won't talk to him. Now he wants to talk to her. Then he has to go save her. Then she saves him. It's like you knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah,
but
it was a cliche situation executed really well.
Really, really well. Yeah. So you still were willing to watch it.
Yeah,
even
absolutely.
though you knew, but there was so many other moving parts that being the base piece was fine. You're like, we don't have to focus so much on this. Mm-hmm. Wow, we can use this as like a timeline. Like it's like this is the main path, and then everything else can just branch off and connect as we go. Because there was some really like crazy stories that unfolded.
I'm gonna retract my answer real quick. My favorite character was Frenchie.
Frenchie
the guy, yeah.
Frenchie was awesome.
He went from like Billy going to meet him, and I'm like, oh, this guy is crazy. He's got guns everywhere. Like Billy's in some shit. To being like the guy who just wanted to fix this little woman that was in like a crazy soup that could kill anybody. He just wanted to fix her. Yeah, and I was like, oh, I like Frenchie.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. There was a lot of good characters in the show.
All of them. I don't think there was a even the characters that you didn't like.
There was
played very well. Like,
they were
A-Train. I didn't know if he was ever being honest or dishonest,
Yeah.
especially with his girlfriend,
Yeah.
Claw.
Popclaw. I was like, I could never tell, even when he was like, "No, I love you." And I'm like, is he being
lying?
real right now?
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly.
When the first time he did it and he actually took her somewhere else, I thought he was gonna kill her right there in her apartment.
Right.
Then he took her somewhere else, and then she told him, and then he was gonna he's gonna kill her. And the way he did it was like crazy.
Yeah.
Like he was just like, "Here's all these drugs, put them in your arm," and it was like instant. Like, and I was like, "There was nothing she could do."
Right.
Like, that's so scary.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like that's nuts. But I think he's gonna
What
have
do you
a.
think, real quick? What do you think about her?
Do we have to? I mean, what do you mean? What do I think?
with her and the landlord?
I mean, I think
That was a lot.
I was gonna say I think that I guess
That
most
poor pathetic bastard.
look. I hate to say it, but I guess what most general men would assume is like, if I'm gonna go out, this is how it's gonna happen. This is the way to happen. But then I feel like it's the reverse, because that had to be extremely painful because he couldn't breathe.
Yeah, for a solid 5 seconds.
He couldn't
at
breathe,
least,
and
yeah.
then she popped his brain out of his head.
Oh my god.
Hence how she got the name Pop Claw.
I would assume that's because they pop out of her arm. But
Nope.
Hey, something was getting popped. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Okay.
That was
that guy's mind.
But see, that was in the trailer. I just didn't know how we were going to get to that point, so I spent the entire season like just waiting for that shot
Anticipation.
because I wanted to know. I wasn't even intrigued about the fact that it was like sexual. I was just like, I want to know how someone gets to a situation where a soup is sitting on their face and then it gets crushed like that. That scenario. I just want to know how we get there. They could have not even shown it and just been like, "This is how we got here." I'm like, "Cool, I got it. Like, I'm good."
They showed this
But they
shit out
showed
of
it. They showed it.
that scene and the one it's not quite as bad, but the whole thing was just like, what the fuck? Was it the dolphin scene?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Where I was just like, what is going like, it wasn't as bad because we got like a faraway view of it, but I was just like, everything leading up, and I'm like, what is going on right now? And then he hits the brakes and the dolphin flies out,
And then he gets hit by
a truck. And like, okay, I will say everything with the deep would just cut off, and I'm just like, what was that? Like, what,
You know,
what
that actually brings me to my only negative
Right.
thing about the show was his story arc. To me, didn't go anywhere. It went places, and there were
Right.
very interesting places, but the payoff at the end of the season was lackluster for
Well,
me.
I think it
Well,
was
it-
more set up for
Right.
I think it
more
is
next season.
and I agree. Yeah, and I can definitely tell it is. But that would have been. I would have been devastated if season 2 wasn't coming. I would have been like, "What
Yeah.
the fuck, dude?"
Well, I think if they didn't know they were going to have season 2, it probably would have paid off. But
yeah, they probably would have
Right.
changed some stuff.
I mean, but clearly their whole, and that's what I think this show's going to do very well in the future is like this storyline was not meant to pay off now.
no,
And so like
because nobody's storyline does. Not really.
Not fully yet.
not
No,
fully.
not fully, no.
Most of these storylines are clearly like, oh, we're going to continue this
Mm-hmm.
moving forward. But his storyline was clearly like it's a slow build of the superhero's decline, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Which could lead to like a redemption arc of like
That's what
him versus the Seven with Starlight and the boys.
Could yeah.
I think maybe A-Train might have a turnaround if he, after basically damn near dying. And
Yeah,
then,
because
like,
he basically had a heart attack.
and he's like, I've been taking this stuff just to keep my spot at the Seventh. That's not worth it. Like,
Right, yeah.
especially with how bad it actually
and
is.
especially considering that nobody was there to have his back at the end.
Nobody
of
was
the
there to
day
have his
except
back
for-
except for the people who he's
who
been
we-
fighting against.
Exactly.
Especially the one person who probably should have let him die.
Right.
So I think that might be what urges that change. But with this show, you never know. He might come back and just run through Huey to start the season off and just
It's the opposite. Like
got
he's,
you too,
him and
like-
Starlight are talking, and all of a sudden he's dead, and she's holding his hands.
and then she's like, "Oh, about time!" and she drops his hands and they run off together. Like Jesus Christ, it was all a dream. I used to read.
I think one of my favorite things about most of the characters in the show is how their arcs actually change them. And
Right,
It wasn't
yeah.
like this is an example, but let's say you're watching a movie and the main character is like scared of heights, and that's their whole arc. Is they're the same person at the end of the movie? They just got over heights.
Yeah, I
That's
got
not
you.
really an arc. He
Right.
just isn't scared of heights anymore. Whereas this, every character changed.
They're-
Like,
yeah,
they
at their
did things that
fundamental
changed it.
core.
Like
Exactly.
Huey, in particular, like he was a different person at the end
Absolutely,
of his. Like he
yeah.
wasn't just. He didn't just get over like standing up for himself. He was just a completely different person by the end
Yeah.
of the season.
Yeah,
he still
he-
had like his morals and whatnot,
But he clearly didn't see the world through the rose-colored glasses
That
that
he
he,
had.
had before. Starlight, very similar. She was like, "Oh, I want to
Yeah.
be a hero," and then she was like, "Not necessarily. I want to
guys
do.
are fucking
These guys are
scumbags."
terrible. Like, I don't want to be a part of the Seven anymore.
Right.
But I kind of have to be a part of the Seven because clearly someone needs to be doing right up here."
Right.
right. She kind of she's gonna have to be a part of it to help take it down,
Down,
or fix
probably,
it.
yeah.
Whatever.
Maeve, like she was
Yeah, she's
she
gonna-
was the passive aggressive, like just go with the flow. But near the end, you were like, oh, you realize that she's like, I'm even starting to get fed up with how this is
Right.
going, and I don't like how I've let this company essentially change what I stand for as a hero.
right.
Which is a interesting arc because you have this weird thing where they try to humanize these superheroes
Right.
in this story, like even with Translucent, and how like when he gets killed, they're like, yeah, he had a son, and then Huey like feels really bad about
Right.
it, and I'm like, I get it, but they would if you let him go, you'd be dead,
Right.
like they would have come back to kill you,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's weird how they try to humanize them, and then that's the thing that's weird, but like they're pieces of shit, but they do have like families and
Right.
lives that they lead, so to speak, outside of it.
Right.
But I guess the biggest character change, which I don't even know if you can call it a character change, is Homelander's situation with the way that he turned on
Madeline.
yeah, and just kind of being like, I
Right.
think I'm not gonna be the
I love
puppet
the
anymore.
way he took her out.
Right.
That scene at the end there in the house with that was so tense.
That was
Right.
It was dark too. I was like,
like
because
because she's like, take the baby upstairs. He's like, I got it. And I'm
Now
like,
what
is he gonna like laser beam this baby?
What
Like I don't know.
happened to the baby though. We don't even fucking
That baby's
know.
gotta be dead, right?
I don't know.
Well, we don't. I don't even know. I don't know
he
nothing.
blew-
I mean,
I have to
but he's
The
imagine.
whole
that-
house is blown
Yeah.
up.
But he saved Billy.
He saved Billy. Do you think he
guess,
saved
but-
the baby?
I mean, he
I mean, but
couldn't save-
was the baby a super baby or just her
was-
baby?
He was pretty
I guess
mad.
that's-
Because if the baby was a super baby, because we saw a baby shoot laser beam from his baby eyes
right.
earlier in the season, so this could be a super baby
He
that.
saw a baby shoot lasers from the baby.
so that could have been a super baby
That's
that
true.
Could have been.
could withstand
Yeah,
explosions.
because she never establishes like a
Who the dad
father.
was,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And my thing was like when she finally let him, tap that
Butte.
booty.
Mm-hmm. I didn't mean to sound weird. I had a drink in my mouth.
Yeah, you were like,
I was taking a drink.
I imagine that was like the first time that had happened.
It seemed
Because
like
they
it.
tried to paint the
right.
picture that he had been longing for
Yeah.
her. But then I was like, if someone gives you a taste before and then they take it away, you will long for it as well.
True, but
But they
I-
don't ever reference it.
I'll throw this out there. I watched some videos, Easter eggs, comic book reference stuff, and Black Noir
Is a clone of him.
So
Yeah.
if they don't go that route with him, it could be that she has a clone of Homelander
As
that
the
she is
baby.
raising herself.
Okay, yeah.
So that
could be.
But-
it's all speculation, but
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't say
I
anything.
kind of want them to do that now that you said that.
What, the
I mean,
baby?
But who would be raising the baby though? Because she don't even got no face.
The baby would be raising the baby.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, like I knew that as well about Black Noir, which is why he's dressed the way that he is.
and he that still might come.
come to fruition. I hope it does
Yeah,
though,
they never
because
showed anything. Yeah,
well, I
they
hope
didn't
it
show
does
his face.
because in that storyline, the way it ends is that eventually Homelander finds out about it, and then
Oh,
he
really?
feels really like shitty about all the things he did. And he tries to redeem himself by stopping Black Noir and righting all the wrongs, and he eventually goes crazy and he kills himself.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
God, this show is gonna be fucking nuts.
Yeah. but at the, but if they go a different route, I guess it's fine. Because I was like, I wonder if she got impregnated during that situation. And then that baby was like, well, I don't need a life source. I'm just going to grow in your dead body. And then.
Right. Oh, yeah.
He's like, right. Oh, God. Well, I mean, she has no eyeballs or a brain or the back of her face either.
Probably.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess my favorite person that I think I'm glad will be coming back is A-Train, of all the people. I think his story was really intriguing.
It was.
We saw a rise and a fall, and then like desperation a lot in his character. So I'm really excited to see how that plays out in season 2. Right. And I want to see if there's any side effects of being off of that stuff for so long.
Right.
Because I imagine he won't be on it. And
probably not. He's probably not going to be in the 7.
But I just want to see if there's any side effects. Like, will it make him slower?
Right.
Will he start to lose his powers? Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing is like, I guess when you look at him and you compare him to all the other superheroes, it's safe to assume that like Queen Maeve is probably not on that shit, but she's still powerful. He's just losing a step with age, I guess, and she probably is too. But it's only noticeable to those that are infatuated and fixated on having their powers and being the best, like he was. That's why he kept taking it, because he wanted to be the fastest, he wanted to be the best, and he didn't want to lose his spot on the 7.
And he had, he has a measurable ability. Like you could, you are faster. If this guy is faster than you, you are no longer the fastest.
Right, exactly.
And so if you're losing your speed, the older you get, that's a measurable superpower.
Yeah, his story, you're right. I think his story arc is probably going to be one of the more intriguing ones for next season. I agree.
Yeah.
Because we're going to see his either growth or decline.
I was going to say decay, and I was like, that's great.
I should have, re-edit that. We're going to see his growth or decay. And I know you didn't edit it. It's fine.
In my brain, I was like, I'm not editing that.
I know. I can see it in the eyes. The way you're looking at me, like, you about to look like a fool. But yeah, that's gonna be really intriguing for the next season.
Yeah.
Man, this was such a fucking good show.
Yeah.
God, it really was.
Do we want to?
There's so much more I want to talk about, though.
Yeah, like what?
I mean, we've only been going for a half hour.
Go into it. So just go.
Let's talk about. I would have. Okay.
Can we break down what ended up being the actual plot of the show?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
let's go.
You go and super corporate company Vought, who owns superheroes,
right?
Or at least
they handle the licensing and management.
They own them.
And in a nutshell, they were making a Compound V, right? That's what it was called.
Yeah, I think it was called Compound
V, which is that's what makes a human a superhero.
Right. Yeah, none of these people were born.
Yeah, none of them were born this way.
So,
they think they were. Some of them think they were, though.
Right.
So to help in the long run, they want to get superheroes into the military.
Yeah.
So they decided to take this Compound V and make supervillains.
Yep.
And so that's a thing here, other places give, terrorists super villains, in the terrorist group to basically get a reason to allow the government to allow soups to be in the military, which is what they ended up getting. So
yeah.
Well, and it was
because
definitely
that military contract
right.
would be huge.
Right.
Well, it was also definitely a kudos to Homelander, because that was basically his plan.
Right.
Because what is her name?
Madeline
Stillwell.
Madeline Stillwell, yeah.
She was really starting to fail at getting them into the military.
Yes.
Right.
And from what we could tell, previous conversations, it was a lot of the marketing that she ended up going with for Homelander was Homelander's idea. Ironically enough, like he said, make it the flag. We can kind of see it in the sense of when he let all those people die on the plane, which we should probably touch on next.
That was a huge scene.
But he used that as a marketing thing.
Yeah,
as
because they went to save them to be a marketing thing, and not saving them
became a
might
even
have been an even
better.
bigger. Yeah.
Right.
And
right.
at the time, you were just like, "Man, this dude's a dick." And then when he
Right.
was done, I was like, "Man, this dude is a really smart dick."
Yeah.
Like I just, and so it's weird that because at the end of the day, when you're watching the show, especially starting out, you're like, "Well, what is the real purpose of this company?
Right.
Like besides just marketing heroes?" Because when you never see them really truly stop anything. Like there's no global scale event
Right.
that's happening because this is not like the Avengers or the Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, well, what is the purpose of this company? And then obviously, like you said, it was to get into the military, to get a contract, to get more money.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw what lengths they would go to get that. By they, I mean Homelander.
Right.
Shooting down a plane with a family on it.
Dude, that was nuts, man.
Like that was crazy.
And that was, to me, it was interesting to find out that he just did that.
Yeah, he just did that all on his own.
Because, like,
yeah.
you know, when that happened, I was like, this bitch is crazy. And then
She didn't know
within
anything
a
about it.
few episodes later, she's asking him about it. And I was like, wait, you didn't set this
Right.
up?
Yeah.
I thought
no.
for sure she did.
Right,
Yeah, I thought
right.
for sure she did.
I
Yeah.
assumed he went off on his own because she just told him the way she talked to him, she didn't say like, go take care of that. She was just like, he's not on board. And then it kind of zooms in on him and I'm like, he's about to do something he's not supposed to do. And then he was like, hey, I'm going to be doing this thing that I'm not supposed to do. But then this is where it really gets crazy because then when they send the Deep out there to go figure out what the hell happened to the plane, he comes back and he basically was like, I think Homelander may have shot that plane down. And then they confront him about it, and then he confronts the Deep about it. And
The Deep is
I don't know about you,
bitch.
but I was like,
I thought he was about to die.
I didn't know what he was gonna do.
I thought he was about to die.
And I
thought
was
he gonna
like,
kill him.
I was like, Homelander could kill all of them by himself.
Yeah.
So it was like every time they were in like a one-on-one situation, or he was like, it's time to have a meeting. Like if I was a part of Seven, I would be scared shitless.
Oh, yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every single, like even when A-Train had to go explain what happened with Pop Claw and the Compound V and all that other stuff, and he was just in there, and I was like, don't kill A-Train like this, please. So to see him do that, and then like with the plane thing, which was crazy, and they were like, "Are you gonna save us?"
Oh my God, that was nuts. We got to talk about that because that was a huge scene. And
And he's like, "Are we gonna save us?" And he's like, well, "I'm not leaving." They're like, "You're leaving." He's like, "I'm not doing it." They're like, "Yeah, you are." He's like, "No, I'm not." Yes, I am.
It was straight up like finger guns. Like, I'll be right back.
everything's fine, guys. I'll be right. Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like to see that scene unfold, it's like.
It was nuts
Because typically
everything started out so well.
Well, yeah, but typically in a scene like that, when they're like, "Hey, what are you?" and he's like, "I got it," people are just like, "Okay." But the thing that made that scene so tense or amplified the situation was that these people realized they were leaving them to die,
Right.
and so you're sitting there watching it like, man, this is crazy because. In real life, if a superhero decided like there's nothing left here for me to do, these people are just gonna die, they would just leave you.
Yeah.
And you have to come to the realization like I'm about to die. Like that's crazy.
And watching Maeve,
Maeve, yeah, Queen Maeve.
her breakdown and reaction to everything
Yeah.
going on, that's when you knew that these were two different
Very
characters.
different, yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually just getting ready to mention that. I like that scene really showed the dynamic between the two of them and
Right.
how different they are from each other. Because she essentially is still very good,
Right.
and she really wants to help. And he was very much like, well, this kind of sucks. All right, let's get the fuck out of here.
Right.
You know, I mean, he's like,
There
"We're just
was
gonna
a
dip
line-
right out this door.
There's a line in that scene that goes back to what we said at the very beginning with how realistic they chose to make these scenarios and how it won't always work. When she was like, "Go lift the plane," he's like, "Against what? The air?" Like, because he can't just stand and lift the plane to safety.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
There's physics involved with
Right.
gravity and whatever. And he's like, what, the air? Like, how do you expect me to lift it up? Because which to me, I'm like, can't you just fly fast?
Right.
But
right.
then he said that he's like, you would go through the plane. Like, if he went too fast, he would just go through the fucking plane.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, he can't just like get under it and pick it up like Superman would in every movie that he's ever been in. And so I'm using my hands as if people could see me lifting up.
I
that
thought you
number.
were just keeping them loose so they wouldn't go to sleep.
And so that goes back to like, yeah, there are physics involved with how
he
this stuff
wouldn't
works.
save one kid.
It's like, can you just take them individually? He's like, you want me to fly back
back and forth over 100 times?
And she should have been like, yeah.
Well, yeah, but he couldn't even do that because how fast he would need to fly, none of them would have survived that at all. He would have killed
he'd
every
have
single one of them.
Hey, they'd have no head.
Yeah,
Like-
he would have fucking flown really quick, and he's just holding nothing but maybe a pair of socks is all that's left. You know, he would have literally killed every single one of them trying to save them. But he was like, I'm not even going to save one of them because if we save one, all they're going to do is tell everybody that we let everybody die.
or that we messed up,
That we
trying
fucked
to
up.
save.
Yeah, he's like,
which this is my thing. Okay, you're in a cockpit with a guy with a gun.
why did he
Just
do what he
punch his brain out of his face.
Yeah, exactly,
Like, why did you
yeah.
use laser beams?
Right.
did? Yeah.
That
but
is
then
so
she even
stupid.
asked, Maeve was like, well, do you know how to fly? And he was like, no. And it wouldn't do any good if I did anyway. I mean, because neither one of them knew how to fly a plane. So even if he would have just punched that guy, the co-pilot was already dead. And then
Yeah, but
he shot the other guy.
Yeah, they were both pilots.
Both
dead
pilots were
at that
dead.
point. But like, that's where I just don't understand. This is where we go into like the Flash situation where for scenarios people are just too slow.
Yeah.
Because you mean to tell me Homelander, as that was getting ready to happen, he was going to boom right over there and just grab the guy and stopped him.
They never showed off really like if he is that fast.
Yeah, they really didn't showcase his speed.
Like he can,
yeah.
we just know that he can fly and
He
he's
can fly.
strong and has laser eyes.
And he's pretty fast because it shows him flying when he's looking for translucent.
Right.
It shows him
Okay.
flying by, but it doesn't
Right.
show him. It shows him flying by.
Right.
You know,
But it
so
doesn't.
I mean,
we do. I guess we never do see him.
if he would have been, I would think that if he was really that fast,
He wouldn't have done it.
We wouldn't have.
He's
seen
lazy.
Him flying. Yeah, he wouldn't have
True.
done it. He was just like, I really didn't care that much for
He
translucent.
was lazy. He just
But-
wanted to. No, I'm talking about
Oh,
on
with
the
the
plane.
kids, yeah, with the
on the
plane, yeah.
plane. He's just lazy, so he just shot the guy with laser beams
Yeah,
instead of just
he uses them
beating
a lot.
him up. Yeah, like he's
That's his
clearly
go-to.
like that's his go-to.
Yeah, that is his go-to
that's his
move.
go-to move, unless he's stepping on your face until it explodes.
Oh my god! Yeah.
But you know, there are little gripes that I had with stuff like that, but I'm like, but they're not good superheroes, so why does it?
Yeah,
you know,
it makes sense.
They're not thinking
Yeah.
that way. He's just like, I was supposed to come up here and make it look good. It didn't look good, so I'm gonna make it look better by flipping the story. I need everybody to be dead to do that, so that everybody's gonna die. All right,
yeah,
you guys have a
because-
good time.
Well, you
Like,
know, and it all plays into his upbringing because it shows him basically being raised by scientists that didn't give him affection. You know, so he
Yeah.
didn't have any connection to human life at all. He really didn't. So that's why all those people on that plane were just completely indisposable to him. He didn't give a shit because he just thought, he's like, okay, if we can save everybody, we can save everybody. If we can't save everybody, we're not going to save anybody. You know, and that's the way he thought about it. He's like, well, it's going to be better if they all die for the greater good.
and he gave one hell of a speech.
Yeah.
Never gonna happen to us again.
Yeah, I love what he got hot too. Like he was getting mad. Like when they were charging at him, he was like, "You all fucking lied, all you motherfuckers!" I was
Right.
like, "Oh my god!" Like
Yeah,
this
that
guy is
was-
sadistic. I was like, "Holy shit!" Oh, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that was such a fucking good scene.
Who had like your favorite ability?
Homelander. The ability to just let people die.
I don't remember his name, but Haley Joel Osment.
Oh
his-
yeah, he did have a cool
like, He
availability.
could just read your mind by
Yeah.
touching it. Like that was kind of cool.
Oh
He
yeah.
could read
Yeah.
your essence and shit
Right.
like that. Yeah,
Or just see whatever
See
was
what
in
was
your.
in.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's where I was. One of my.
It
like,
got him into
fuck.
some shit.
Yeah,
too.
because like Billy just fucking kills him, and I was like,
Oh my
"What
God,
the
savagely,
fuck, dude?" Yeah, like, and I thought it was
not
gonna
much of a soup.
right. Like, it isn't like a great power, but it
Not
is
at
a very
all.
cool power.
Yeah, he was he definitely would have been the guy in the chair
Right.
at the desk at the computer. Like you wouldn't put him in the field at all.
Yeah, he's for interrogations only.
Yeah, but God, I was.
But I mean, really, honestly, we didn't see like that many soups.
What do you think about Translucent's death?
That
a
was
good
another
turning-
like, what the fuck?
That was a
Like,
good turning point for Huey.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really where he changed.
That's where he stepped over the line completely.
to never come back.
Yeah, that was awesome. I loved it. Right when he turned back invisible, he went bluey.
He went bloom de bloom de
He went
bloom.
bloom. Yeah.
And it was cool that like they explained that pretty much the only thing left of him was his skin because you can't destroy his skin,
Right.
and so that's what was all in that box.
And it was still invisible. Like that was fucking crazy.
And so yeah, and it was like, it was just so that was so weird. That whole his abilities were very strange because
it was pretty unique. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it basically said his skin was basically made of diamonds.
right.
And that's
I
how
was
come
gonna
he
say-
could bend light and refract it and make himself.
I was gonna say
invisible.
that was what made his powers, I think, the favorite to me because
Okay.
it was more. It was the only set of powers that had to be explained, and when they did, I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool,"
Yeah.
Right.
you know, because he was on Jimmy Fallon,
Yeah.
and they were like, "You turn invisible." He's like, "Well, I don't actually turn invisible. My skin just turns into a reflection that you can't see." Essentially, is basically what he said.
So that's why he was always walking around booty ass naked with his dick all out and shit like a fucking prevert.
I mean, would you or would you not do it? If you could do it,
I'm not gonna answer that question.
that's a good choice.
Thank you.
I plead the fifth.
Yeah, I asked the question, so I don't have to answer.
So Warren, what would you do?
All right.
I would never go invisible.
Fair enough.
Okay.
So it's like, why would you have the power then?
Well, his power isn't invisibility. It's
It's
apparently reading people. I'm like, get out of here with that shit.
yeah. That's why you got
You're
blown up.
indestructible, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why your cheeks are on the wall right now.
Oh yeah, that's what they do. They had to stick C4 up his ass and blow him up from the
Yeah.
booty. Oh my god, that's fucking hilarious.
Man, this show is
It's dark.
nuts. Like, I mean, from the deep making Starlight give him BJ
Yeah.
to get into the 7, which is from the comics.
Right.
Oh really?
Like, that's
Okay.
a legit thing that happens. From that to the ending, which I think we should talk about right now.
Yeah. Okay. That's
like
good.
so this whole show is just nuts, but it scales in variety of how nuts it is at times. You know, whether
Right.
from that, which is like it's crazy, but you're like, you know, it's just sexualizing the superheroes.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's like on a low level of like nuts or crazy,
Right.
ironically. But then you get to like the end of the show and you're like, oh, spoiler alert, Billy's wife is alive and she's been raising Homelander's baby.
For 8 years.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. His whole revenge plot was built upon the fact that he thought his wife was raped and basically torn apart and murdered or whatever, and then she's alive.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here?
Yeah, that was.
Well, he always believed she was still alive.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
He always,
that's
but
right.
he
That's
just
true.
never knew what happened to her because she just left and never
that's
came
right.
back.
That's right. Yeah.
But there were a couple times where he was getting closer to accepting that she's
Mhm.
dead, but still
Yeah,
wanting
that's right.
revenge because either he said it or somebody said
Well, I thought
either she's
They told Homelander.
Yeah, they
that she
told
got ripped
Homelander
to-
that.
she got
Yeah,
ripped
that's
to
right.
shreds.
Yeah.
right.
But
Then somebody I think he might have said either he was like either she was killed or she committed suicide. So I
That's
think
right,
somebody
yeah.
said that to him and he's like
That's right.
no difference. Because
Yeah.
like that action caused either of those to happen. And so that, you know, he was slowly getting more accepting of the fact that she's probably dead. But then, you know, still he went and destroyed the gravestone that was for her
Mhm.
because he, you know, like you said, he didn't want or he didn't actually believe that she was dead.
yeah, good call on his part.
Right.
Taking up
I guess,
space.
yeah.
She's not dead. Taking up space. How dare
You know how many people are trying to get into that
You know how
spot
many?
right now?
You know how many gripes I have with this woman right now? Like, you lady. I don't want to. That's how I would cuss her out. You lady. You child raising human. You secret keeping human being.
I thought it was crazy how they convinced us that she was dead because they
They showed
made
it.
the whole scene.
Yeah, they showed it.
spent lots of money on that CGI. Like I was like, this is okay. She really is dead, and this is crazy. Go Billy, get your revenge. Like,
Yeah.
and then she comes up at the end. I'm like, this bitch. Like, I watched you die.
This lady.
Lady.
I watched you die.
So yeah, where we go from here, I don't even know, man.
I just wish that they would have given Billy one scene to be basically the Dark Knight and been like, where is she? But they didn't do it.
Oh man, such a fucking good show.
Yeah.
It really was.
This is
I'll watch. This is gonna be one that I definitely watch again.
This is definitely gonna be one that I like might go buy if they release all the seasons in a DVD pack.
Yeah,
Right.
that might happen too.
Might
It
watch
was
it.
that good.
I definitely want to see like some behind the scenes stuff of how they shot the
That
whole
would be
thing.
that would be nice because it looks like they dumped some good money into it. I mean, the show
None
looked
of the
good.
CGI was bad.
No,
It was
everything
all
looked really
good.
impressive.
And they did a smart thing that I thought was that they didn't really have a whole lot of fighting as far as like soup versus soup, so you didn't need a whole lot of CGI.
No.
Right.
You know, the closest and probably the best fight that we got to was with Starlight versus A-Train.
Yeah, and near the very end. yep.
And that was the first taste we really got of like a soup versus a soup and what would happen there. Obviously, in this world, a soup fighting a soup for real all out would be extremely destructive to wherever they were fighting at.
Mhm.
But these two just typically didn't have destructive capabilities.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, she's dealing with the lights and causing electricity, but he's fast. Like, he's not tearing apart the building. you
Right,
know.
right.
But like Homelander versus like Maeve might
Right.
be
That would be intense.
That would
like-
be that would be dope.
like it's like Sokovia in one fight. Just them two, just tearing the city apart.
Right.
But that was cool to finally see a soup fight another soup and how that would play out and how he had to use his wits as did she. Like, she was, okay, I gotta shoot fast enough that he won't be able to get to me, and then he's like, I gotta move fast enough to avoid the thing, but I gotta close the gap.
Yeah,
Like, that
yeah.
was where in a lot of superhero movies we see they just fight. Like, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this was cool, he threw a shield, came back, then he blocked, then he, you know. But in this it was like, these people are soups, but it's in a realistic setting, so like I have to use real strategy if I'm gonna win this fight.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
like, if A-Train has to go up against Homelander next season, he's like, okay, if he hits me with a laser beam, I'm done. If he grabs me, I'm done.
Right.
If he flies into my face, I'm done. So like, I have to use my speed. I have to count on being faster than him, but like, I can't expect to like go blow for him because I'm gonna lose. So you use strategy. So I just like that we got a little taste of soup versus soup, but they didn't pride the show on like soup versus soup. They
Yeah.
did a lot of storytelling, character building,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm excited for season 2.
Yeah, that fighting scene was pretty cool too, and in its simplicity, it really told a lot because you could see their strategies unfolding. I liked it. Like it looked like what I took away was that she was trying to shoot and close in to trap him, to keep him from being able to run around, and she just kept trying to close the gate to actually force him into a small area.
Right.
But he just was faster than her, and he got to her quicker.
And it also kind of showed that maybe she probably could have kicked his ass if he wasn't on Compound V.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was all jacked
a
up.
lot because he had a heart attack.
Yeah, yeah.
he was
Right.
not, he was not doing good. So I wonder how that would have been different had he just been normal.
Yeah.
Or how different it would have been if she had been on Compound V.
All of the light.
It just would have been woof, it would have been a white screen. I would have been blind. Anybody watching would have been blind.
But the thing that I like about it is, especially the way that scene started out, he shows up and he's just like, holy shit. And I was like, fuck. Like, typically you don't get really worked up and you're just like, oh yeah, I expected that. But he showed up and I was just mad. Like, I was like,
Right.
damn it. Like, and then he's talking that shit. And then it got tense and she was like, I'm going to go. And then Huey was like, I'm going to stay. And I was like, I don't have time for your nonsense, sir. I need you to get your head out of your ass and go. Like, we don't have time for this
Yeah.
lovey-dovey stuff.
Yeah, when the other two are leaving and he like hits the button and stays, I was like, "What are you gonna do?" Like,
Right, like, what sense does this make?
Right,
He's
like-
gonna text him angry emotes.
I was like, you got nothing. You don't even have your gun. You got rid of it.
Yeah, you don't even
Ran
have,
out of ammo. I like
up a-
that.
Yeah, I watched him shoot. It was funny.
sorry.
Sorry.
He's like shooting people,
Apologizing the
yelling,
whole
sorry.
time. That was pretty good.
But
the boys obviously had their moments as well.
Yeah.
right.
We don't want to not talk about them for a
They
little
had good
bit here.
interaction between the four of them. It's four. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so the names: Frenchie, Mother's Milk,
Billy
like
Butcher.
Billy Butcher.
That's
like
his
these.
actual name.
That's his actual name. Yeah.
What?
Billy Butcher.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, but the name,
Yeah.
the name's like Mother Milk,
Yeah.
Frenchie. That's just hilarious.
Yeah.
All the dialogue between any of the boys, any of the members, was always good. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
I wanted to see
Yeah.
their interactions.
Yeah, I
And
was.
the arc between Mother's Milk and Frenchie was worth it. I'm like, are they just always gonna hate each other? This is gonna get old really quick.
Right.
And then by the end, when they're in that cell,
You
like,
get
oh,
why.
we're trapped in here. Like, you get why, but then they're also like, they kind of come back to be.
Yeah, they were able to squash
Yeah.
the
Right,
bullshit that didn't.
And I
matter.
guess that's the real big thing too that we didn't touch on was the reason for why they were upset because they got that one lady's family killed.
Right.
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
we like learn all of that story.
I do
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
And apparently
Or at
it
least
was
see
Billy's fault. Which once again, once you think he's doing something
Right.
right, you find out, oh, he's just really terrible.
Well, did they explain what Billy was before his wife died? In quotations.
I don't know
No.
specifically, but they do show the scene where Homelander meets his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
if they
because she
showed what he
worked
was
for
doing,
Vought.
Yeah.
but
She
I
was
don't
like
know.
But I'm curious.
But I
as,
don't
like,
know if they showed where he was when that stuff was being released.
I'm curious as to like how he went from being just a guy
Yeah, whatever he
To-
did for a living, I don't know.
to working with I don't
The
remember.
CIA, wasn't it?
I don't remember her name, but doing that and becoming like
trying to remember if it was CIA or FBI.
Well, you
she
got-
was CIA.
She was
yeah.
CIA. Okay.
Well, I mean, because I do know that they did to him what they did to Huey,
Yeah, basically.
and then I think maybe raised a couple eyebrows, and she was like, "Ooh, nope, you can recruit him,
Right.
bring him into the mix."
Yeah.
Because if he was just a normal guy and now he's like bashing people's faces on bathroom sinks really hard, that's a lot of
Transition.
yeah.
Yeah, he was a shoe salesman.
Right. Yeah, he sold.
That's how he sold his
Yeah.
shoes.
That's how he sold it. You buy these, bitch.
But yeah, so that'll be interesting. I
I
think
guess it's a good thing he didn't sell sunglasses.
man, oh god,
That was stupid. Oh man, I'm allowed.
Well, I mean, I guess what do we think our storylines for season 2 are going to be?
oh man, they could go so many places.
We already know what one is. Obviously, the whole dynamic with Billy and Homelander and the kid.
Yeah.
I think Homelander and Billy are gonna go grab a beer, discuss.
Co-parenting.
They're gonna open an electronic shoe
Right.
store.
Billy's gonna get back with the wife, and yeah, they're all gonna discuss
Love
weekend.
triangle.
Yeah, weekend seeing privileges of the child.
I think there's going to
Custody
be.
battle.
I think it's going to be.
No, that's not what's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna die.
Oh Jesus,
Really?
lady. No, but I think it's going to be a situation of she actually loves Homelander,
Ooh.
and that's going to be heart crushing for
Right,
Billy.
because
And so he lost both because he doesn't have. That's not his kid,
right.
and he lost his lady to the one man that he has hated for
That's
the
dark.
past however many years of his life, and he has to basically figure out what to do with himself
That's
he
dark.
has nothing now. I think that's the arc that they would take.
Think, huh?
Uh,
That's dark if they do.
well, this whole show is dark.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe it won't go like she tries to be with Homelander and Homelander does, vice versa. But Billy does learn the fact that she just cheated on him. Like, that's all that happened. Like, there was no rape, there was no killing of her, and so he has to accept the fact that
Yeah, because she
just-
wasn't leaving that room like she was raped.
right.
When it shows her leaving.
And she left like, oh shit, I just
She's
cheated
just
on
like,
my
oh, I
husband.
just did something
Right.
really bad.
Right.
but it felt really good.
But I don't know.
Well,
I don't think.
Homelander drops that line like she came 3 times, like so.
Yeah,
So I think it's safe to assume that it was not it wasn't rape.
it was mutual
but, yeah.
sex.
And so Billy has to come to that realization that
I don't think
everything
they're
he's
gonna-
done in the past 8 years has been for nothing.
Yeah,
Essentially.
yeah. I don't think they're gonna go the route that she loves Homelander though.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
like they might not do that, but Billy's still not. It's not like, oh, my wife's alive. Like, no, she
Yeah.
cheated on you, got pregnant with a superhero baby,
Right.
and
well,
here
if they
you
don't,
are.
if they don't go that route, then the route would be that she doesn't want either of them,
Probably.
Right,
That's
right.
probably the route they go.
Yeah.
and Homelander probably.
She probably won't want Billy because she's gonna feel absolutely terrible for what she did to him.
Well,
she's
but
gonna
if
feel like
she-
she's not worthy.
If she cheated, not even not worthy. If she cheated on him, then he was obviously not giving her something that she needed to begin with.
right,
Like I personally believe she was already out the door when that happened.
it's possible.
I don't know what type of person he was leading up to that. He
Right.
clearly thought they were happy. They clearly were not. Or maybe it was like that fascination thing. Oh my God, it's Homelander, and then he got her to do what he wanted her to
Well,
do.
it could be another situation of the Deep at the beginning where he like said, "Hey, I'm the big guy around here. If you do this for me,
I
you
can make it happen.
Right? You might get, I can get you places in the company.
That
Could
could
have been
have
that
happened
kind of
too.
situation
Mhm.
too.
Yeah, that could have happened too. But the way that Homelander reacts to it, it seems like it maybe he had feelings for her,
Maybe.
and maybe he thought that was mutual. And
Yeah, he might. He
and
might
it-
think so.
and maybe
yeah.
so maybe that, like I said, she doesn't want either of them. Then they both have to deal with the fact that she doesn't want them.
Billy's gonna have to start lifting some weights.
Billy is going to have to keep his head on straight in season 2. Because if
I
he
don't-
missteps, he could probably just get killed.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's already his.
Do Starlight and Huey have a baby? Go.
No.
I ain't got no confidence in his game.
No, it's yeah.
He's already done it once.
Yeah, well,
Like, I
he's-
mean, not
yeah,
had a
he's
baby, but he
already-
was already in there.
Yeah.
Making it. He was in there stirring the pot, cleaning the noodles,
I'm
Baking
waiting
the
for some
chicken.
more. There we go. Keep it going.
frying the shrimp, baking the cake,
They made it a very obvious point to show what happens.
grilling the sausage.
Shows what happens when soups have sex. Like when the big boom happens during sex, like something happens.
Yeah, her eyes
her eyes,
glowed,
pop claw,
popped her claws.
yeah,
Popped
that
the
guy.
head.
She blew that guy's mind. What else is there? Oh, the therapy session with the guy who said he was with the ice princess, Princess Ice, whatever her name
Yeah.
was.
Oh, yeah,
She
yeah.
turned to ice and froze his dick off.
Yeah.
They just really focused on like.
Wasn't he one of the writers for VOD?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
So the whole time I was listening to him, I was like, he's just making
Yeah.
this shit up.
yeah, maybe I don't know.
But I mean, it may have happened. But
Right.
I was kind of like, you're a writer for VOD. You probably just made that shit up.
Show us, no.
No, don't show us. Let me just be doubtful.
Right.
But yeah, but that is interesting.
Yeah.
But at least with Huey, he only has to worry about her eyeballs.
I mean, she could like shoot him with her light.
She can shoot him with lights.
I don't know. Is that what she's doing? She's using light to shoot out of her hands. But yeah, every like all the soups having sex, like something crazy happens. Obviously, some of them
Filet
can
de
control it.
mignon.
Some of them, it's not a problem. But with Popclaw,
Popclaw. She was all
Yeah.
jacked
And-
up
and
on
the,
that Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
She didn't even realize. She didn't even realize she had killed him until she got
right,
up.
right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like I thought when she was getting up that that's what she was trying to do because she like got up like yeah you're dead and then she turned around and started freaking out. I was like oh she didn't mean to kill him. I
No.
thought she was trying to kill him so she didn't have to pay rent.
That's
One
so
way to
great.
get around it.
Well, that figures that problem.
But then yeah she
saying?
turned around and she freaked out for obvious reasons.
Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Blowing out them candles. They're gonna keep coming until we end the episode.
Oh man,
No, it was such a different show.
It was.
There hasn't been a superhero show like this. There won't be a superhero show like this.
Avenging that
Well,
Endgame.
yeah. I mean, I think this took what The Watchmen tried to do and made it really good.
Right.
You know. So, of course, we got that show coming out on HBO.
I don't care.
I can't remember if it's.
I actually don't
sequel.
care now.
Oh yeah, it's.
I actually don't care now. I just
Yeah.
want this.
Yeah,
I don't care about what the. I mean, if it's good, I'm going to watch it, and if it's good, then it's good. But
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
care now.
Well, it's hard to care because the movie was so lackluster, in my opinion.
Or
I mean,
should we
there's things
care?
I enjoyed about the movie, but for the most part, I thought they kind of had a lot of misfires.
From what
as well.
I understand, I think it is a post,
it's a sequel,
but
Okay.
it's not a sequel to
It's
the
a
movie.
post.
It takes place after the events of the movie, though.
Right. Yeah, but like I don't think they're going off the movie because the movie did not go strictly off the comics.
No, it didn't.
And so I think it's post what that story would be, but it's more from comics.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Well, if they do that route, it could be pretty damn good then.
It might be a prequel. I can't remember. Sequel, prequel. I don't remember.
It's the pre-sequel or the
It's the sequels.
the
It's the
prequel?
prequel to the sequels that were the prequels to the.
Equals.
Okay.
That's what it's like trying to explain Star Wars.
let's give some ratings.
8.5.
8.5 out of 10. What do you think, John?
8.6.
You son
I'm
of
gonna
a
go
human being.
8.65. No, I'm giving it a 9. I'm giving it a 9.
I think this show will benefit from more seasons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why.
I
yeah.
think this first season could go to like a 9 or 10 if we get an amazing
Yeah,
second
exactly.
Right, because we didn't have all the payoffs.
Right.
I mean, we had payoff. I don't want to like confuse people. No, listen, we had payoff because the stories they did not wrap up, but for the situation that they were in during this season, that concluded.
Yeah. Okay.
So like the whole arc of like Huey and A-Train, that concluded. It's not done, but the
Right.
fact of him hating A-Train, he might still hate him.
Right.
But the fact that he was like selfless enough to save him is like, okay, that's the end of that. He's not gonna be like obsessed with killing him anymore.
Right. Of course.
Like, that's done.
Yeah.
You know, Starlight and Huey, that whole situation of like, oh, is she gonna hate him at the end? Is she gonna love him? Like that's pretty much we've moved on. Like clearly they're like, even if we don't end up continuing this relationship, we do have to work together
Yeah.
to take down this company.
Yep.
Like Billy Butcher and Homelander, they might still have their differences, but the whole situation of like Homelander raped his wife versus is she alive or dead, all that stuff, the driving force for their story, that is wrapped up. Now we're on to a new phase of
It opened
these
a bigger
characters.
door. But
Right.
It did wrap
So
that part up.
we did get ending plots for what we were dealing with in the season, but it then led us into what the next step is for these
Right.
characters. So more seasons might
Yeah.
jump it up to like a 9.
I wonder if
whatever,
they're going to
but-
try to keep this going or if they're going to do like a 2 or maybe 3 season overall arc and just call that the show.
I mean, I'd be fine with that.
Well, yeah, because I don't want like 10 seasons of this.
'Cause-
And by the end, you're just like, come on,
Just
now.
end it.
Because that's
Just
how it was.
kill me.
Because I just finished season 7 of Arrow, which I think was the last season.
I think season 8 is.
Is it? There's another one?
I think season 8 is the last season. I could be wrong though.
I mean,
I
I
haven't
don't
watched
know.
it
I
in
know.
like
I
30
couldn't remember
seasons,
either if
so.
it's either 7 or 8. But I
Yeah.
just finished
Right.
7, and it looked like it should be over, and it's probably not.
I know I know when Stephen Amell told the writers to write that season, he said to write it like it's gonna end, but then they added one more season.
What a terrible team effort!
Right.
Jesus Christ!
I think he was worried about his friends having
That show.
jobs
No,
lined up.
that show needs to be.
Yeah,
done.
that's a lot of people are saying that.
It's
I haven't
done.
watched it in like
it's
3
been
or 4
done.
years.
It's been done since like
Yeah.
season 4.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've heard. Because I think the last season I watched of Arrow was season 3.
I don't even remember. That's how long it's been. I don't even remember what that season's about
I'm trying to remember and I can't.
because it's done.
Yeah, it's been very much going through the motions for a long time, from what I've heard.
Yeah. And I think this show will really benefit from just ending when it should end.
Yeah,
Don't milk
absolutely.
it.
No,
Just be
because
like,
I'll watch it again. You know
Right,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like I'll watch it over and over.
but
again.
don't try to milk it. Just it's
Yeah.
done. When it's done, it's done. And when done is done, then it's the end. And when it's the end, it's Elfine. And when it's Elfine, it's over.
I have watched a handful of Amazon Prime stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get, and it's all good, it's decent stuff. But then you get a show like this where you're like, Amazon's like a prime contender. And
I
didn't mean to do
I'm
that.
glad you
No.
did.
No, don't tell that lie
Yes.
that you didn't mean
I'm
to
giving
do
you a
that.
thumbs up.
Because you stopped and had a moment of like, should I make
Should
this
I-
joke?
No,
Yes, I should.
it wasn't should I. It's I realized that was going to be a joke.
That
I
was
was
the
like,
direction.
oh, this is going to happen, and I'm doing it. But
So you
I didn't plan it out.
I think you did, and I give you a thumbs up, sir.
They are a legit contender in the streaming platforms of content, because this has got higher quality production than anything that like Netflix or Hulu. Not anything,
yeah,
but
a
like,
lot of stuff though.
But yeah, a lot of it,
Most
like
of
it
the
was
things.
like this could have been a movie. Like
I think it's better than anything Hulu has.
Right.
But I mean, and I know Hulu does have some good shows that I
Right.
don't watch because I don't have Hulu.
right,
But this is better than most of the Netflix stuff.
right.
It's really
I
good.
mean, Netflix is
Netflix
starting to
has still
step
got
their
some good
game
stuff.
up a
Oh,
little
yeah.
more with the production.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Netflix
I
has
mean,
still got good
as
stuff.
far as movies, they nail it. You know, those clearly look like established productions with money involved, but their TV shows could take some notes from this.
Yeah, they
Right.
could.
Because the way this is filmed like something that would be on HBO.
Yeah, about the best production stuff Netflix has put out was the stuff they did with Marvel, probably.
But even like a lot of that stuff, each one of those shows has like 3 sets.
Yeah,
You're either
that's true.
so like Daredevil is either in one of 3 places.
That's true.
And so like this was like it felt like a fluid open
It
world.
felt huge.
You're right.
Yeah, they visited a lot of places
Right.
Yeah.
in this show, which is not normal
No.
at all.
Oh man, this was a fucking good show.
You have said that.
I have
at
said it like
least-
5-6 times,
least
and I don't
17
care.
times.
That's how much I liked it. It was so cool, so unique. It was way more different than anything I've watched in a pretty good while. And I watched Brightburn the other day. Actually,
I haven't. I'm gonna
I
rent it
bought
and watch
it.
it.
I actually bought it. It's on early access on digital
I
already.
know.
So
Maybe I'll just buy it. I don't know.
I bought it. And I'm glad I did. It was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. It was really good.
Oh,
I
I'll
would
check
just rent
out.
it.
Well, that's what you would do. And I appreciate you letting me know what you would
Okay,
do.
I'm just saying. All right.
Or you can just come over and watch it sometime.
Yeah, that's probably the better.
yeah. Save yourself $5, $6, $2.
But then you'd
$1,
have to
whatever.
watch it again
I'll do that. I don't care.
with me.
I got AFK Arena on my phone. I'll play that while you're
Yeah,
watching.
but you're
it.
watching it with me.
Oh, so
that's-
you're falling asleep and I'm
that
waking you up.
experience might not. We don't know how it's gonna go.
Well, you fall asleep at my house every time you come
I
over.
might fall asleep. I might scream. I might get up
Tell
and
you,
walk
there's
out.
a 99.9%
I might pay your rent.
chance
Who knows
you're-
what's gonna
We
happen?
don't pay. I don't have rent. I have a mortgage. but you
Exactly,
pay
so
that.
that's not getting
So,
paid.
Yeah, that's not getting paid. But I know for a fact that you will fall asleep when you come over because you do every time, which is
Hey,
fine. I don't
hey.
get mad. I ain't mad at you.
Hey.
That just tells me that you're comfortable
A
in my
sleepy
home.
driver is not a safe driver. So at least
That's
I
very
take
true.
naps.
You get a nap in before you leave.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess we're going to wrap it up. Let us know what you guys think on Twitter at ZC_podcast or Facebook at Zero Cred Podcast. Tell us what you thought. Tell us what you liked about this. Tell us what you didn't like about this. Tell us what you don't like. Tell Warren to stay awake when he comes over at my house.
Lady.
Okay. Lady.
Lady.
We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Avenging that end game. Oh!